and he didn't have any other edge. He was trying to get Colossi out and take a Forge, which is kind of greedy, and then at the same time he was moving across the map, so he was trying to do too much at once there, and Deer was like, I'm going to kill you. Might have been a different situation if Deer was attacking into the natural where there's Nexus cannons, he's got his Immortals in a good spot, he's got sentries to help defend.
Something like that. I'm just wondering, like, what was Patience thinking going for that kind of, greedy, just make a bunch of sentries, get a Nexus up? Did he think that Deer was just going to try to play passive and that he could possibly get ahead with getting that Nexus up? Because if someone does a build like Deer just did with he chrono boosts out those units very fast and is in your face on a map like Overgrowth, it's a 2-player map, you can get to your opponent very fast, and that's why he was just punished for it, I don't
think it's a good build for the map. It's a good build. I mean, it's a good strategy. And he got blind countered. The build that Deer chose was really strong against that build in particular, and maybe Deer had some sort of information, or maybe he felt like that was the build that Patience was going to use there. Maybe he's seen Patience do this build on this map in the past, but his build basically countered Patience's build, and so I feel like it's not like Patience's fault per se for going for this opening, but Deer had the right response and punished him really hard for it, even able to get all the way into the main base and saw the 3rd sentry, like you said, and he was like, oh, this really is Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Christmas come early.
Well, guys, the next map here is going to be Catalina for our 4th matchup here, our 4th set. And Deer's running away with it. I was saying before, Patience, he's got no coach, no one to calm him down. You did say before he does have a lot of experience in foreign tournaments. Of course, he's played in so many Dream Hacks. He's been around the world for that. And does he lose his mentality here, or does he grab it back because he needs to? He needs to win 2 in a row. We've seen a lot of players do it before, but
I think
he needs to be in the right mindset.
I think he can. I think he can do it. Deer has not been playing perfectly himself today, and that was, again, as long as he's able to get this mentality himself, because I don't think he's got anyone here supporting him. I don't think he has any coach today. If he can tell himself, yo, he picked the counter build to my build, that's okay. That's all right. Still did actually pretty okay considering that I lost my Nexus. I tried to make something work. He ended up doing too much there at the end and died, but you got to take risks when you're behind. But I think if he can just convince himself, okay, that'll build or a loss, basically. I mean, he had the perfect build to beat mine. Let me just relax, go into this bigger map, Catalina. That's what he's telling himself. Let's go into game number 4.
Down here in the bottom right of the map, in the red, the Protoss player, it is Patience.
And over here at the 9 o'clock in blue, it's Deer. Now 1 win away from taking that victory, moving on to the group stage.
Well, Catalina is a very big map, even though it is a 3-player map. There's a lot of room for proxies and stuff like this.
Absolutely.
We saw Stats try to proxy against Innovation. Of course, a different matchup, but, again, just a lot of different places you can put it.
Well, let's see how these two decide to play this one out, because there's also a lot of, locations to hide a Dark Shrine. Like, DT Tech on this map is really strong because it's almost never going to be scouted if you put it in a crazy place, like the unused main or like the unused 3rd base or something, somewhere where Stargate proxy isn't really a place you want to hide something. We could also just see straight-up play. I feel like Patience wants to go down that path. I think he feels like if he gets an early lead, he's just good at PvP, good enough to just kind of close it out. And I think that's why we saw him do that Sentry expand last game. So I don't think he's going to do anything cheesy or anything proxy, anything crazy. He's going to scout even earlier than Deer here, which you will see in almost all PvPs when you're actually 1 loss away from being knocked out. It's like, well, what if he just cheeses me? I better check.
Yeah, it's hard, in mirror matchups especially, that you got to check for that kind of thing. But he comes over here, he gets lucky with the scout. Usually, if you scout this early, even if you do get unlucky with the scout, you're going to be able to get into that base and just see what's going on. So, no real difference. It just allows him, since he got here a bit early, to just be annoying like this, with this probe. Probably not going to get any kills if Deer is paying attention, but
yeah,
just will be annoying.
Damaging One of the probes pretty low, actually. It's like 3 hits away from death, but it gets pulled away. Well, Core's coming up at basically identical timings. Obviously, with a faster scout from Patience, he loses a little bit of mining. About a 20 gas difference between the two, favoring Deer as well. Mining 3 and 3 for a bit longer. Stalker comes out, and a rushed Stargate. Probably going to get scouted. That's really unfortunate for Patience here.
Yeah. Say Deer, you know, he scouted extremely late. Say Deer went for a scout in the north first, and then went down to the south. It is possible that the Mothership Core is out at that time, and definitely probable, and he would have been able to deny that scout. Whereas over here we got a Stargate going up for Deer as well, and hold that thought, we get a cancel Stargate here by Patience, actually putting up that Twilight Council.
I like the cancel. It's a pretty smart move. I think Deer's approach to this Stargate is, he's probably doing Oracle. I'm going to go Blind Phoenix. So I think we're going to see a Phoenix build. Well, it's not Blind, actually, but I'm going to go Phoenixes and catch his most likely Oracle. It feels blind when you look at it now because he is actually not going Oracle. But I think we're going to see Phoenixes. And let's see what Patience decides to do with his Twilight Council.
Maybe a later Blink here. Because he may have assumed, like we were saying, you know, oh, he's just going to go blind, quote-unquote, Phoenix.
Right.
And just try to counter my Stargate that he didn't see finish, but he saw me going for it and maybe thinks that I will not cancel it. So if you're going against Phoenix and all of a sudden you got a bunch of Stalkers with Blink at the guy's base, even if it is late, it can definitely do a lot of damage. But there's a probe of Deer I saw lurking around that natural that actually goes unscouted here.
Ooh, this Phoenix gets scouted now, but let's see if he can actually kill his Mothership Core. Forces a recall. Nearly kills it, uses all of its energy.
Oh my god, he gets the full scout here. That is so unfortunate for Patience. He actually walked down the natural ramp right before the probe walked up it. And the probe was even able to get a pylon down here as well.
This is like the unluckiest game for Patience. I mean, he did respond to the Phoenixes pretty well with going Blink and even DTs. I like this because of what's been scouted already. But this is kind of like the flow chart for how this matchup works. All right, few kills here, just 2. Continuing to scout, and actually Deer gets pushed back by a big warping of units of Patience. I like this because now he's like, oh, got to turn around, right? But the Zealots from that forward pylon are going to do a nasty amount of damage, especially because he just saw that warping of units. He knows.
And there's no energy here on the Mothership Core to put down the Nexus Cannon here. He's going to have to fight with the probes here and take a lot of damage.
Unluckiest game I have ever seen this tournament.
Seriously, man.
This is the unluckiest game that Patience has played.
Oh my god. Oracle follow-up here with some Stalkers out of position. Even lifts them up to try to get more damage here with the Oracle. And he will get away. 12 probe kills with that. And it's just looking worse and worse for this guy now.
Not to mention the lost mining time. If the DTs don't get a lot done, this is a lost game almost essentially at this point for Patience. Seriously, everything went wrong. So unlucky. These Stalkers see the DT. They just saw it. What has he got at the top of that ramp? A sentry. And here we go.
Is he going to see it?
What?
He doesn't actually see it. I was going to say, because he didn't follow it with the Stalkers here.
And he doesn't have an Observer queued. He's going to have to cancel his Immortal.
Oh, man.
And that hurts because that was halfway done. So maybe some luck turning around here for Patience. See how many probe kills he can get. And
well,
another
he's going to target
DT.
down that sentry. Warping in another TTB here because he knows he's got some extra time here to do some damage. But seeing that cancel and seeing the Observer come out here, he will move away.
Good splitting. But does get caught. Well,
So,
worker count is 21-19 now, still in favor of Deer. A little bit of damage done.
this is a really wonky game, man. We're going down all tech paths.
The problem is that the DTs can't do anything anymore for the rest of this game, essentially. But this Oracle is still going to be really annoying. It can fly. You can kill probes way faster than DTs can.
Definitely can fly.
I mean, it doesn't have to worry about... It's not like, oh, there's an Observer out, so I can't use this anymore.
Yeah.
Which is kind of how the DT feels. You can use it to make an Archon later. Maybe you could scout with it. It's a very... If the DTs are going to do anything more in this game, it's usually lucky. Whereas the Oracle is a very skill-based unit. Even after it's been dealt with initially, it can be used later to backstab, come back. It's like, oh, you forgot about me, right? I could still fly in and kill you.
Yeah.
Or kill your probes, which could eventually kill that player.
And the other part of this is that Deer back at home, he was just able to get the much stronger tech and getting that Robo out. He's also got a lead and 1 Immortal here. Could make more if he wants, but he's just going to transition into Colossi here. He's just got the much better tech for the map. He has the better harassing unit, like you were mentioning. And I believe he got that Nexus down even a little bit faster
than
tiny Patience. Oh, wow, it's actually almost exactly even, but still slightly better.
Yep. Like a half a second better, but you are correct.
Yeah.
And, you know, he has the Bay done. Getting his second gas is immediately. It's going to kill this pile. Actually, maybe not. Let's see if the DT can save it. Well, with Phoenixes here and an Oracle, nope, not going to be able to. And with this, actually, you should be able to eventually kill the Dark Shrine, which means the threat of DTs later on in the game is just not going to be there. That's something I forgot to mention earlier about when I said the Oracle is something that's going to be able to be useful for the rest of the game. The DTs, to a certain extent, can be for harassment, and in some rare cases, like I said, when you get lucky for defense and whatnot. But losing the Dark Shrine now means that that's an investment that can't be used later on at all. Yeah, this is. I mean, look at the unit tab. Everything is looking bad. He's got 8 Stalkers in a Mothership Core versus a very flexible composition from Deer that includes Phoenixes for harass.
And he's going Blink as well. I mean, he has that Robo out, but he's still deciding to go for Blink this late in the game. Usually at this point, you want to limit, the amount of Stalkers, unless you are going to try to go for some really huge push where maybe you're able to pick off a Colossus. But that kind of thing is usually not really going to happen.
Very rarely. Templar Archives coming up as well. Could possibly be for a Storm Drop. Great Scout here. Just constantly monitoring. What's your Forge upgrades at? How many units do you have? Where he can even use that to click on the mineral patches and see how close he is to mining out. Just whatever he wants. That Oracle is always going to be useful until it dies.
Yeah. Now in the meantime, we got Patience back at home. Actually going for High Templars as well as a Stargate here.
Well, does he really think he's going to go Fleet Beacon here?
I mean, he's tried it once before, man.
He can't make Oracles because his opponent has Phoenixes and full scouts on his base constantly 24/7. Getting an Oracle out of there to do harassment is going to be almost impossible. This Observer is going to be killed as well, by the way. It's been spotted, and Patience knows it's been spotted. Oh, Deer's not following.
Oh, man.
Should have move commanded on that. He might escape maybe now because he doesn't know which direction it went. Yep. Don't think he's going to find that. But well, he really is. Fleet Beacon.
Yeah, he's going to try.
He's trying to, like, straight up counter the comp. He hopes he counters it so hard that it brings him back into this game. What Deer thinks is it looks like is a Twilight or a Charged Zealot all in, so he's making a tight wall at the top of his ramp, sitting back and saying, "Come at me, bro."
Yeah, and Deer will sit back for a while, but I think once he realizes that, or even, gets a scout with some hallucinations possibly, he can definitely go for an attack and shut this down, just like he did in the game earlier on.
Let's see. Patience is ahead in ground upgrades. That's something to mention. Not massively, but quite significantly. Does lose that, finally, that Observer, we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, he does have the upgrade advantage, but just looking at army supply right now and just army composition, already 3 Colossi on the map. He's got an Immortal in this mix as well. Patience even taking some damage there. He does kill that probe, so will be a little bit further back of a pile. I'm going to have to bring that probe back here and make another one.
I think Deer is just like, I've had enough. I'm so ahead, I'm just going to kill you. He hasn't scouted the Fleet Beacon I checked. He doesn't know about it, so it's not like a reaction to seeing the Tempest are being made. But he just has such an army lead that he knows that he can just bully this base. He sees a Tempest, and that's going to make him a little bit concerned. So now he's like, okay, well, I guess I really do have to kill you. You're trying to go Tempest? Are you serious? About to have charge. And a ton of units moving across the map now. 4 Colossi here to burst down basically any unit.
Oh, God.
Oh, God, it's nasty. Close your eyes at home. Deer is going to close this one out. GG.
Oh, man. What an unfortunate game there for Patience. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, man.
That was absolutely the unluckiest game we've seen this tournament. Everything went wrong. Scouts got lucky. His build just was always just seen.
It all got scouted. The pro was able to get into the natural without getting scouted, makes a pylon and gets the scout, and then does harass damage with zealots there.
The zealots get made at the same time as the stalkers are warping in, so he doesn't have defensive warpens.
Yeah, it was just all off kilter there for Patience.
All right, we're gonna have an interview with Deer right away here. Let's see how he was feeling about that series. Wasn't an easy one to win, but that last game just went his way every possible way you can look at it.
You know, Patience, a very good player. He really gave it his all. It wasn't like very one-sided games out of Deer, but Deer was the better player in the series. So really got to hand it to him. Looking forward to more games out of him. He's showing some pretty good PvP.
Yeah, he really is. All right, here's that interview with Deer.
네, 오늘 마지막 경기에서 승리하신 백동준 선수 모셔볼게요. 백동준 선수 많이 기쁘시죠?
네, 크리스마스 이브 날 이겨서 더 기쁜 것 같아요.
오늘 조지현 선수와의 대결 승리 예상하셨나요?
Are you happy that you won? Yes, I'm very happy that I won on Christmas Eve.
동족전이라서 좀 힘들다고
Did you expect to win today?
네, 생각보다 쉽게 이긴 것 같아요.
조지현 선수를
Because it was a PvP, I thought it was going to be a hard match, but it actually went easier than I thought.
관련 정보를 찾기가 굉장히 힘들었을 것 같은데 오늘 경기 준비 어떻게 하셨나요?
진짜 해외에서만 좀 활동하던 선수라서
How did you prepare for today's match? Because you've been only playing in foreign tournaments recently. I had no information about Patience,
사실
but I was confident coming into today's match. So I played with confidence, and that was the reason why I was able to win today's match.
Keep in mind, he also prepared for the same matchup in Pro League just recently.
잘 풀린 것
Some
같아요.
extra information.
크리스마스잖아요. 이제 곧 이제 한 1시간 정도 후면
So
크리스마스인데
it's Christmas in an
이제
hour.
시간까지 우리 백동준 선수를 응원해주신 팬분께 특별한 세레모니를
Any comments to your fans
메뚜기
on
춤?
this Christmas Eve?
메뚜기 춤?
Anything you want to show your fans here that came to watch you today on
터져
Christmas?
나오는데요.
일단 조지 명식이나 좀
네.
네, 높은 자리에서 네, 할 수 있도록
아
하겠습니다.
진짜요? 조 추첨식에서 백동준 선수의 메뚜기 춤.
He's asking if he's going to do any dances or any ceremonies, and he says he'll actually wait until the group ceremonies selection.
이번 연도
Thank you for those fans who stayed all the way until this late hour on Christmas Eve to watch him.
열심히 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
I feel really good this season, and I'm trying to advance, of course, for you guys further and further. And he thinks he's got a good chance of it because he feels so good this season. And that's a kind of important confidence to have when you're trying to bounce back, when you're considered to be so good at some time, and then you fell so far.
Yeah. He's looking to make a comeback, and he's looking really good doing it. I mean, he lost that first game, but 3 in a row tells the story here. But for the rest of the story, we did have Sky High versus Gumiho as well to start off today. Sky High went down 2-3. Really close series here. Gumiho in the end will finish him off, though.
Yep. And Gumiho advancing to the round of 16. Bit of an upset there. And our second upset that we had for the day is a match we're going to talk about in just a second here. Just to close out the thoughts on that TVT, Gumiho really learning Sky High's play towards the end and figuring out that if he takes a fast third and holds Sky High's aggression, he gets massively ahead. And that's basically what we saw there.
Yeah. It's a long series, the best of 5, And a similar thing actually happened here, where Innovation showed his play 2 games in a row, and Stats was like, I think I'm beginning to get the handle on this. Stats had his coach come in, talk to him, and just really tell him how to handle that kind of situation. He took 3 in a row. Really impressive play. It was a big upset. Everybody thought Innovation should definitely be the favorite in that matchup.
Yeah, I feel like Innovation played a bit predictably, which I think is one of his biggest weaknesses in his play in that matchup in particular.
Definitely.
He often just sticks with his gun, sticks with the same type of build, and if you get downloaded, man, if Stats figures out what you're doing, then it's really, really hard to actually win those later games in the series. So that's exactly what happened there. And our final series, of course, was a Protoss versus Protoss. It just ended. We just saw it. We'll be taking a look at those maps in just a second. But Patience getting really unlucky in that 4th set on Catalina. But playing very well in the rest of the series overall. I have to say, against such a strong opponent like Deer, I'm impressed with his play, even though things were a bit tough for him, and he did have a few shaky moments in the series. He played very well.
Yeah, I enjoyed his play. He looked good in the first game, just kind of lost his hold on the series, and Deer overall was just playing better today, and definitely looked good in that last game as well. But guys, for tomorrow's match is on Christmas Day, 7 o'clock. I think about 4 hours and 10 minutes earlier than right now. You can check out Maru versus Jin, I believe that is, and then it's Dark versus Parting, and then Myungshik versus San.
Yep, it's going to be a sick day of matches. The PvP at the end is going to be crazy, considering both these players have an insanely aggressive style for PvP.
Yes.
Dark, known for his ZVT unique style, but now he has to play against Parting, his former teammate. And, of course, having a Chinese pro in this tournament is also always amazing. It's such an aggressive player that we're going to see here. All Chinese players, man, they love their aggression. There's so many Chinese pros. You see these Chinese pros, they always do crazy all-ins.
They turn into
really
young
good at
chicks,
it.
man.
They do. And up against an aggressive player, too, in Maru. When those two styles collide, that could be a really fun one.
I think tomorrow's just going to be action-packed in general. It's going to be another great day. We have so much StarCraft coming at you guys starting from this week and last week as well. So it's a lot of fun down here.
It absolutely is. And don't forget that all that StarCraft is coming to an end this week on Friday. So there's a match as well after tomorrow. But I know it's Christmas for you guys, but if you can't sleep on Christmas Eve and you're up all night waiting for Christmas, we'd love to have you here joining us. So please come by tomorrow. We'll see you then.
In a Detroit moment.